This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Phil Laskowski coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at the day's top stories for Thursday, July 2nd. Trump says Taiwan to double Arizona chip fab scale. Taiwan minister defers to TSMC. President Lai says budget delays threaten Taiwan flood control efforts. And visiting Marshallese delegation meets with president and attends development fund event. But first, today's top story. United States President Donald Trump said Wednesday that Taiwan will double the scale of semiconductor fabs under construction in Arizona, a move he says would help raise the United States' global chip market share to 50% before the end of his term. Responding at an economics committee meetings at Taiwan's legislature on Thursday, Economic Minister Gongming-Shin said any plans by TSMC will be announced by the company. He added that Taiwan's advanced semiconductor capacity remains the world's largest, noting that TSMC has about 16 facilities planned or under construction in Taiwan, including CoWoS advanced packaging plants. Trump has repeatedly accused Taiwan of taking U.S. chips business. In his latest remarks, he said Taiwanese chip makers are expanding investment in the U.S., with Arizona fabs set to begin operations within a year. Fox Business reported that Trump, speaking before departing for Joint Base Andrews, said the expansion would boost jobs and claimed the U.S. could secure 50% of the global chip market by the end of his term, emphasizing that the country currently has quote-unquote nothing. President Lai Ching-te urged lawmakers to quickly approve the central government's budget this Thursday, July 2nd, stressing the importance of funding to support flood control projects following heavy rains and flooding across Taiwan. Speaking at the Zhinan Temple in Taipei, Lai expressed sympathy to residents affected by the floods caused by Typhoon Mekhala late last month and said that human action is needed in addition to divine protection. Lai said,
"The flooded areas haven't seen flooding in 40 or 50 years, so I hope that all affected county and city governments will review what caused it. If there are any shortcomings, they should propose flood control plans. The central government will provide strong support regardless of political affiliation or location."
Lai said the central government will continue working with local governments to improve flood prevention infrastructure and strengthen disaster resilience. He called on lawmakers to pass the budget as soon as possible, noting that delays could prevent funding for flood control projects and disaster preparedness from being used during the ongoing rainy season and the approaching typhoon season. President Lai Ching-te met with the visiting Marshall Islands Foreign Minister Kalani Kaneko and his accompanying delegation on Wednesday, June 1st. Lai noted that the two countries share democratic values and deep Austronesian cultural ties, and that cooperation across various fields has produced results in the fields of agriculture, healthcare, education, women's empowerment, and climate change. Lai said that Kaneko has consistently promoted exchanges and cooperation between Marshall Islands and Taiwan and supported Taiwan's international participation both as foreign and health minister. He expressed hope that Taiwan will be able to contribute more to peace and development in the Pacific region with the support of Marshall Islands and other like-minded partners. Kaneko said during the meeting that Taiwan's assistance to the Marshall Islands was invaluable and that the Marshall Islands will continue to firmly support Taiwan's meaningful participation in the United Nations system and other international organizations in the future. Also on Wednesday, Kaneko attended the 30th anniversary celebration of Taiwan's International Cooperation and Development Fund at the organization's invitation. Also present were Eswatini Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade Mankoba Beki Kumalo and Guatemala Minister of Public Health and Social Assistance Joaquin Barnoya. Kaneko highlighted Taiwan's assistance in capacity building in the medical field through an International Cooperation Development Fund scholarship for Marshallese students. He called the program, which has already produced 12 doctors for the small Pacific nation, a true partnership and a milestone. When asked about China's so-called checkbook diplomacy in the Marshall Islands, Kaneko said he had never encountered Chinese pressure in his time as health minister. However, he emphasized that Marshall Islands knows that working together with like-minded governments and peoples is the better path towards advancing national development goals and the well-being of its people. What do peaches and airplanes landing gear have in common? They are both incorporated into Taoyuan's latest mascot, Flow Momo.
With a bright pink and blue color palette and a new mascot, this year's Taiwan Design Expo in Taoyuan is represented with the theme Taoyuan in Flow. Taoyuan City Mayor Zhang Shanzheng says the city is honored to host the Taiwanese design community's major annual event and that a lot of effort has been put into planning. The new mascot, Flo Momo, is inspired by peaches grown on Lala Mountain and airplane landing gear, symbolizing the city's diverse landscape, including nature and Taiwan's largest airport, the Taoyuan International Airport. Flo Momo's designers, Akibo Li and Li Yixuan, say the character invites the public to visit Taoyuan and experience the design's charm. Zhang says Taoyuan and Flo represents the city actively moving forward and doing so beautifully. The Taiwan Design Expo in Taoyuan will take place this September 24th through October 11th. Tristan for RTI News.
Intelligent Asia is one of 3 significant industrial exhibitions that open in Hanoi this Wednesday, July 1st, with strong participation from Taiwanese firms to showcase innovation and supply chain strengths. Taiwan's representative to Vietnam, Liu Shizhong, said Taiwan has become a key partner in Vietnam's industrial upgrading. The joint opening ceremony featured the 14th Hanoi International Plastics and Rubber Industry Exhibition, Hanoi Plus 2026, the 13th Hanoi International Printing and Packaging Industry Exhibition, Hanoi Print Pack 2026, and Intelligent Asia Hanoi 2026. Leo attended alongside Vietnamese officials, business groups, and global industry representatives, demonstrating Taiwan's commitment to deepening economic ties, advancing smart manufacturing, and strengthening regional supply chains. More than 400 companies from over 10 countries participated. Intelligent Asia Hanoi, held in the city for the first time, focuses on automation, electronics manufacturing, and precision processing. Together with the plastics, rubber, and printing exhibitions, it aims to connect the full smart manufacturing value chain. More than 60 Taiwanese companies exhibited advanced technologies, including automation equipment, precision machinery, and integrated solutions. After the opening, Leo visited Taiwanese booths and exchanged views with officials and industry leaders on smart manufacturing, supply chain cooperation, digital transformation, and investment opportunities. Taipei and New Taipei City Police have partnered with EasyCard Corporation to expand anti-fraud efforts, signing an MOU in Taipei on Thursday to target 5 cross-sectors areas, including Know Your Customer, KYC, and controls on high-risk transactions. The agreement follows a joint code-clearing fraud crackdown carries out from April to June, during which police arrested 421 suspects, detained 82, and seized $2.7 million in illicit gains. Authorities said that while government measures have reduced online shopping scams, financial losses in other categories, particularly those involving linked e-payments and QR code fraud, have continued to rise. Under the new framework, the Taipei City Police Department, New Taipei City Police Department, and EasyCard will focus on KYC, real-time monitoring, and blocking of high-risk transactions, early warning, and outreach to vulnerable victims, public awareness campaigns, and joint training. Taipei City Police Commissioner Lin Yantian said combating tech-enabled crime requires intelligence sharing to enable timely intervention and build public awareness. New Taipei City Police Commissioner Fang Yanning said fraud has become a top public safety concern and stressed the need for proactive prevention. Fang said, at present, efforts to combat fraud must use every possible means, deploying all investigative and preventive measures. By joining forces, the police and private sector aim to build a secure and resilient network, one that can recognize, combat, and prevent fraud. Police said the partnership will establish real-time alerts and reporting via the 165 anti-fraud hotline to flag suspicious accounts and transactions, aiming to cut off illicit financial flows and reduce money laundering. Tainan City Mayor Huang Weiche promoted the southern city's mangoes industry at a supermarket media event in New Taipei City on Thursday, July 2nd, where he highlighted Taiwan's expanding overseas exports. The promotion coincided with the Tainan International Mango Festival, which is being held in the southern Taiwanese city from June 27th to July 12th. 1 out of every 2 mangoes in Taiwan comes from Tainan, and we not only have quantity but also very, very good quality, Huang said at the Far Eastern A-Mart store in Banqiao District. The promotion comes as Taiwan's mangoes industry sees stronger overseas sales. Agriculture Minister Chen Junji said last month that Taiwan's mango exports this year are expected to reach 2.5 to 2.6 times last year's volume. Taiwan's mango yield in 2025 was impacted due to poor weather. Taiwan exported 836 metric tons of fresh mangoes in 2025, according to the Agriculture Ministry data. Taiwan's total mango production in 2025 was 102,578 metric tons, with Japan, Hong Kong, and South Korea as the top 3 export markets. Thanks for joining for the news. I'm Phil Laskowski. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.